at 6100 Vassar at Law Park, which is on the other side of these of the area you see behind here, the green space back there. Two adult males, ages 19 and 20, went and picked up two juvenile females. I believe they were both 15 years of age. And the two female juveniles were actually babysitting a 5-year-old and a puppy. What occurred is after the officers put out the shots fired, striking trees back here at our property, Fox actually spotted the vehicle in the park, called it out. They put the sunbeam light on the vehicle, and these individuals, what we've determined through our investigation, were not targeting the station. What occurred is that the 20-year-old actually borrowed the AK-47 style assault rifle, went and picked up these girls along with his brother, his 19-year-old brother, went to the park, and I have a feeling they were trying to put on a show for two 15-year-olds. Why adult men are picking up 15-year-olds is another story for another day. But our investigation has determined that that they were not targeting the station. As a matter of fact, the investigators determined that the young girls told them, "Do you realize that that's the police station back there?" And then when the helicopter spotted them, they knew that there was nowhere to go, nowhere to run. They actually waited for patrol officers, and they were detained without incident. The 20-year-old has been charged with felony deadly conduct. The AK-47 was tagged. It included a magazine with 26 additional live rounds, and the 5-year-old was taken to the mother, and the two young ladies were released as well as the 19-year-old. This is an indication of the fact that people don't understand that when you discharge a firearm, especially in a populated area like this, that is in fact deadly conduct, and we can't tolerate it in our city. We're very fortunate that the rounds struck trees. It didn't strike an officer in the parking lot, and we're very fortunate that Fox was up in the air and was able to spot these individuals right away. And so our investigation will continue. We are now entering the firearm under the NIBIN system with our friends at the ATF, who are great friends in terms of partners as it relates to investigating gun crime and investigating and obtaining criminal intelligence, gun intelligence from these guns. And so that process is ongoing now, and we will not be releasing this individual's name at this point because it's not in the DIM system yet, but we will release the individual's name later on. The individual, we haven't found any criminal history in terms of this individual, but he's got felony deadly conduct charges now. So with that, I want to thank Commander Borza and his team for their quick action. I want to thank Commander Cantu from the Air Operations Division Special, did a phenomenal job, and especially the officers that moved in very quickly. The suspect was male black, and again, you know, one of the things, I was just talking to a member of the United States Senate from another state that's the ranking member of a committee, who's talking about the issues of police reform and trying to make policing better. You know, one of the narratives that we get is that law enforcement does not take people of color into custody without killing people, and that's and sadly, we still have tragedies involving people of color where we did not act in terms of our profession appropriately, and in terms of George Floyd, it was actually, you all know how we all feel. It was egregious and unconscionable. But this is another example, an individual shooting an AK-47 in the middle of the night at a police station. The police responded, knowing that they were going to respond to a person that was armed. They complied with the officer's directions, and they approached tactically, and no one was hurt. One of the things I just told the senator from another state, Senator Peters, I believe he's from Michigan. He's the ranking member of one of the Homeland Security Committee in the Senate, was that when we start collecting data, we have to start reporting back to the community, not just every time we use deadly force when dealing with people that are armed, but also every time that we take people into custody without a scratch on them. Last week, or the week before, I met with a family of a young man that was wanted out of a carjacking, an armed carjacking. Took officers in pursuit, Pasadena PD and our officers. There was 3 individuals in that car, all African American. At one point during that pursuit, the car stopped, 2 individuals got out of the car, and those individuals were taken into custody without a scratch on them because, again, they complied with the lawful commands of the officers. Sadly, this 19-year-old young man continued in the pursuit. He ended up crashing into a police car, and as he got out of that car, this is on video, the family got to see it, he got out and shot at the officers, and that individual sadly lost his life. So again, we're going to start doing a better job of actually pointing out when things go right. Thank God. They went right yesterday. No one got hurt, and neither did anybody that was in that car shooting at AK-47. So with that, I'll open up to any questions.
Chief, that checking with ATF, is that going to determine whether the gun was stolen? Tell us about that process.
Yeah, what we do is with the NIBINs is the ballistic network, the National Ballistic Network. We will be able to determine if that firearm has been used in any other crimes. The ATF will actually be able to try to do their best to give us a history of that firearm to see whether it was lawfully possessed. So that part of the investigation, we'll be working very closely with ATF moving forward with our detectives.
Can you tell this time if that firearm was able to go automatic?
I don't have that information yet. That'll be part of, but just remember, even a semi-automatic with high capacity, it's going to go as fast as you can move your trigger. So that'll be part of our investigation. We haven't determined that yet.
What's your message to the 20-year-old?
Well, my message is, first of all, you shouldn't be out here in the middle of the night shooting, discharging firearms. This is a populated area. It is reckless. It's inexcusable, and and sadly, the message was sent when he went to jail and charged with felony deadly conduct. The other thing is, two adult men have no business picking up 15-year-olds that aren't members of their family, and don't kid me that they're probably trying to impress these young women. And to the young women's families, we're going to be talking to them, because your daughter should not be running out with an individual with an AK-47 and 10:30 something at night. And and to parents, make sure you know who's babysitting your 5-year-old. A 5-year-old is being babysat by two 15-year-olds who decide to go with the 20 and 19-year-old with an AK-47 to go shoot in the woods in a populated area. So I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned here, and so we're glad you all are here so people can have these conversations with their own families. Okay? Anything else?
On the previous shooting here?
No, that one we've never been able to that we're not even sure at this point whether they were actually targeting the station, because we never found any evidence of impact at the station itself. But this one, everybody was in the right place, and I'm grateful that those young people, that they didn't make a bad situation worse by trying to flee and engage in a pursuit, or God forbid using force. And it's like my papa used to tell me, I don't care what you've done when you're contacted by the police. I don't care what you've done, son. You can get out of jail, you can't get out of the cemetery. You just do whatever the officers tell you, and if they're wrong, we'll deal with them later. And so we're very happy that no one was hurt yesterday.
What evidence was found at the scene?
The actual firearm was found at the scene, and obviously the shell casings from the discharge were found at the scene. The magazine with 26 rounds were found at the scene, and the individual that actually discharged the firearm was found at the scene along with the 3 others. Okay?
Do you push the kids if they were involved in the previous incident or not?
No, yeah, there's no indication they were involved in the previous incident.
Chief, quick rundown in Spanish. Is that possible, Chief?
Spanish is extra. No, I'm kidding. All right, anoche como a las 10:30 p.m., oficiales del Departamento de Policía aquí en el Southeast, estación Southeast, estoy aquí con el comandante Borza, estaban aquí atrás en el parqueo cuando a primera empezaron un tiroteo, como 4 o 5 balazos que le dieron a las matas que están aquí atrás. Inmediatamente los oficiales hablaron por el radio pidiendo auxilio, y gracias a Dios el helicóptero de la policía estaba aquí cerquita. Inmediatamente encontraron un vehículo con 4 personas, 2 adultos, hombres de 19 y 20 años, afroamericanos, y 2 muchachas afroamericanas de 15 años que estaban cuidando a un niño de 5 años y un perrito. Lo que ocurrió en la investigación enseñó que cuando el señor de 20 años cogió un AK-47 rifle y con su hermano de 19 años recogieron a las muchachas, fueron aquí atrás al parque Law Park en la 6100 Vassar, y dispararon. El helicóptero inmediatamente encontró a los sospechosos, y una de las muchachas le dijo: los sospechosos disparó, oye, bruto, ¿no te das cuenta que está la estación de la policía? Y cuando el helicóptero puso la luz, ellos sabían que no podían darse la fuga y esperaron que lo llevaran preso. El conducto, el sospechoso que disparó de 20 años, tiene cargas de felonías por disparar en una área así como esta, y los demás no tienen ninguna cargas. Esto es un caso de nuevo, es una persona que estaba disparando, le pegó aquí a la estación, y al fin del día, cuando la policía llegó, hicieron caso a las órdenes de los oficiales, y nuestros oficiales lo llevaron presos sin ningún uso de fuerza, y que a mí eso dice que nuestros oficiales son profesionales, y gracias a Dios no hubieron nadie herido. Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Chief.